I'm Brad Rodriguez from Fix This Build That, and today I'm going to show you how to make easy DIY drawers with pocket screws. Now, these go together super quick. I have two different methods for attaching the bottom. The first one, you don't even need a table saw for. And the second one, for a larger drawer, I'm going to use more of a traditional table saw cut with a suspended bottom, but it's also replaceable. Stay tuned, I'll show you exactly how I did it. All right, for this video, I'm going to show you how to make two drawers, like I said, and different sizes. So I have this dresser. It's going to have 2 drawers on the top and 4 drawers on the bottom. The first thing you want to know when you're making drawers is what height to make them. So I'm going to take a measurement. For this top one, it's a little over 7 inches tall. So I'm going to make the inner drawers 6 inches tall for this top. I'm going to go there and cut those to size and then show you what comes next. All right, for the bottom drawers, I have a large opening here. I'm going to have 4 drawers in there, and obviously there's no framing in between. So each of these drawers is going to be about 8 inches tall, a little bit over 8 inches. So I'm going to make the height for these drawers 7 inches each. With the height of your drawers established, now you want to look at the total size of the drawer box. My drawer boxes are going to be 15 3/4 of an inch long, and that is because I'm using 16-inch drawer slides, which are 15 3/4 of an inch for this particular model. But for the first thing I'm going to do is get the 15 3/4 inch sides. So the sides are going to be full length. Go cut those on the miter saw.
I set the stop track on my miter saw to 15 3/4 of an inch and cut the sides for my top drawers. I went ahead and cut the sides for the bottom drawers as well, since they're going to be the same length.
With the sides cut to length, now we need the total width of the drawer box. That'll help us get our front and back. So looking at the opening here, it's 15 7/8 of an inch. So now what we want to do is subtract an inch, because the drawer slides are 1/2 inch thick each. We'll subtract an inch off that, so our total drawer will be 14 7/8 of an inch. But if you're using plywood for the sides like I am, you want to make sure you take into account the thickness of the plywood, because it's not 3/4 of an inch, it's something a little bit smaller than that. So I'll show you just how to take that into account.
First, I set the stop block to 14 7/8 of an inch, the full width of the drawer box. Then I put 2 small offcuts of the plywood I'm using next to the stop as a spacer. Now these are exactly the same width as the sides of my drawers, so I can butt up the pieces against them and cut the drawer fronts and backs to the exact size with no measuring and no math.
For a larger drawer, I'm going to use the same method to cut my front and backs to size. My total opening here is 32.5 inches, so that total drawer width needs to be 31.5 inches, and I can cut that to size again on the miter saw.
I used the same technique as before here, moving the fence out to 31.5 inches and using the plywood spacers to get the perfect fit for these large drawer fronts and backs.
With the sides and the front and the back cut to size, now I can start putting together the top drawers. I'm going to take 2 sides and a front and a back and show you how this goes together. So the front and the back are going to be held in place with pocket hole screws that go and connect to the sides. So this is how our drawer is going to be, and then we're going to attach the bottom straight to it. Now you can see here the front is at 14 7/8, just where we need it.
I'm using my K4 pocket hole jig from Craig Tool, the sponsor of today's video. I highly recommend this jig, and using the dust collection attachment makes drilling the pocket holes quick and clean. I drilled 3 holes on the end of each front and back for the 1 1/4 inch pocket screws I'll be using to join the boxes.
With my pocket holes in place, I can just put the sides onto the front and the back, clamp them in place, check for square, and I'm ready to go. And as fast as that, you've got your drawer. All we need now is a bottom for this, and I'm going to cut that to size over on the table saw after I grab the exact measurements, which I should already have, but I just want to make sure I double check the drawer. For a small drawer like this, there's not a lot of chance that you're going to need to replace the bottom. So we're just going to glue it down and brad nail around the sides. So there you go. That's about as fast and as easy as you can do it, nailing it on. The only thing that we want to think about here is the bottom. If you want to get rid of this little plywood edge that's revealed that shows that it has a nailed on bottom, we can put a bevel on that and make that completely disappear when you're looking at it from the side. You can do that in two different ways. Let me show you both of them real quick. So I'm just going to put a bevel on here, and that's why I made sure the nails were set back. The first way is just to use a simple block plane. But if you want to go the power tool route, you can grab a trim router with a chamfer bit and do the same thing much faster. So now that the bottom is chamfered, you cannot see it at all as you're looking at it from this angle, and the front pocket holes will be covered up by the drawer front. The back is obviously not seen as well, so it's a great looking drawer. You can also edge band the top to get rid of this plywood on the top, and you got a great looking drawer that's going to hold up to a lot of weight. But if I do a bigger drawer that might need the bottom replaced at some point, I'm going to do a little bit different method. So let's go over, I'm going to show you what I do with the large drawers that I cut earlier.
The sides for the larger drawers will get grooves cut in them, 1/4 inch up from the bottom. To cut the grooves, I set my blade to half the thickness of the plywood. Then I move the fence in to 1/4 inch from the blade. I'll be using a test block here to hone in the fit, and I start it by running it through at this setting. With everything looking good, I went ahead and ran through all the sides for my drawers, leaving 1/8 of an inch groove from the blade curve, or 4 30-seconds. Now the plywood is 7 30-seconds thick, so I moved my fence over to the right, 3 30-seconds to hit that mark. I ran the test board through again, and amazingly, I nailed it on the first try. The fit is perfect. This is just what you're looking for. The plywood slides in easily, but is snug enough to hold the test piece in place. I ran all the sides through one more time at the second pass to give them that same size groove that I just cut on the test piece. Now all I have to do is raise up the blade to get a full height cut and run the fronts and the backs through. This allows a space for the bottom to be installed after the drawer is assembled. You'll see that in a minute. After drilling pocket holes in the fronts and the backs, I was ready for assembly.
Assembly for the large drawers is pretty much like the small ones. I have the tops down so that the bottoms are up. You can see the groove here that I cut and how it is aligned with the front and the back. And that's going to leave space for the bottom to slide in, and I can secure it to the front and the back. For this larger box, I'm going to use a clamp up top as well as a right angle clamp on the bottom to help me keep everything aligned.
The bottom gets cut to the full 15 3/4 inch depth of the drawer, and the width of the drawer is going to be 1/16 inch narrower than the full width that would fit between the grooves.
Now I'm going to flip the drawer over and insert the back so that I can screw it in. I can check the drawer for square with my right angle square, or I can use a tape measure and measure the diagonals, and you want those to be the same measurement, side to side, then you'll know that it's square. They look good, so I'm going to secure it with 5/8 of an inch panhead screws. And that's quick and easy attachment method as well. This drawer bottom is very solid. It's not floating in there, so it's not going to rattle around. And if you ever need to replace it for whatever reason, all you need to do is undo the screws, pull it out, and put another sheet in. I want to give a big thank you to Craig Tool for sponsoring today's project. The pocket hole jig makes this drawer assembly so easy, so fast. I use my K4 for a lot of different projects in the shop, and for drawers, it really comes in handy. There's a link down below in the description. You can check out all the Craig Tool products and that K4 that I used. If you want to check out more of my videos, YouTube says that's the best one for you right there. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, I'd love to have you as part of the team. You can use that button right there or subscribe down below, and make sure you turn on notifications. And if you want to support me on Patreon, you can use that button right there. Until next time, guys, get out there and build something awesome.